What strategies or methods do you use to attract and keep clients or customers?
Keep clients comes down to results. That's the truth. Being nice and being really and offering really good customer service will only last so long. At the end of the day, if you're not getting them results and you're super nice, it's going to be hello, hello. Hey, Megan.
Hello. How's it going?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
All righty. I think happy Monday. Let's answer
Get
some
into it.
questions. Let's just dive right into it. Welcome to the Ask Jason show. Got any questions? Put them in the comments below. I'll get that nice little fancy banner going. Yeah. And let's kind of just jump into it. Let's kind of just get into the swing of things right away.
All
The
right.
best way to hit the week is to just hit the ground running. So let's go.
All right. So the first question is from Jen. What's the best way to handle customer complaint or negative feedback on any social media channels?
So one
good
is
one.
to, sorry?
I feel like this is a good one.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's complaints and then there's trolling. If someone's going to become rude and just, spammy or just really completely disrespectful on my social media feed, probably hide the comment or block them or delete them and kind of delete the comment because there's no place for that. If you have a legitimate concern or complaint, you should 100% have the ability to voice that on social media. Should 1000% have the power to tell us what you think. Now, a lot of customers then get scared. What happens if everyone else sees it? Well, one is make sure you offer an experience and a product that doesn't have people complaining. Now, I get it. Not everyone's perfect. You're going to have people complain. But as long as you're in the feeds addressing those complaints and kind of just being like, oh, so sorry to hear about that. Have you emailed customer service? It's the problem when it happens like, oh, email us. And like, I've sent 15 emails to you already. Or they leave those comments all gathering up and no one's responding to it. Go look at anything you've ever bought off Amazon or online. Chances are it wasn't a 5 out of 5. Chances are you went to go look at the reviews and you went and saw, people like to complain. It's way easier to get a negative review than it is to get a positive review. We know this just even from our agency asking for testimonials. We know this with our clients when we see them try to get testimonials and videos from their customers. It doesn't work. It takes too long. They have to give away. There's all these incentives in order to get testimonials and reviews, but everyone's quick to pull the trigger on a negative review when something bad happens. So that's fine, normal. That's human behavior. So we just lean into that a little bit. And if someone's going to come on and complain, I'm going to use that opportunity to address their complaint publicly and show them just how good we are from a customer service side. Show them just how much we stand by our product and service. Let everyone see it. Then let people weigh in and be like, hey, like we've never had that problem. And they start commenting it and they become your ambassadors. Someone complaining about you, stop being so insecure and stop being so, just, oh my God, someone had a complaint on social media. Our business is going to go bankrupt tomorrow. That is just, there's no utility in thinking like that. That is not a likely outcome. So just switch your brain to think a bit differently and train your customer service team to handle those responses as legit concerns as if someone were to call you and say, hey, Megan, I've had a problem with my order. But people don't like to do that on social media. It's very easy to just be quick and be like, this product sucks. It came in a broken box and there was a hole in it and, it didn't fit like the way the website said. If you go on there and just kill them with kindness and just be like, hey, so sorry that happened. That should never be the case. No excuses. Not even going to tell you that things like this happen, which you're telling them things like this happen. Right? Not even going to say that, but we'd love to make this right by you. Please, here's our direct line. Here's a direct phone number. Here's a direct email or sending you a DM right now to take care of this. That's how you fix problems. And that's how you deal with negative complaints on social media.
Yeah, I think it's important.
If they're rude and disrespectful, and they're like swearing, using vulgarities and everything like that, I just remove them. I just remove the
Yeah.
comment and remove them.
Yeah. I think it's important to just address them anyways. So
100%.
whether it's removing them or, little customer service.
It's feedback, right?
Mhm.
Everyone's going to tell you your product's the best product, and you're dealing with like a couple of people, but you want to hear where your product can be improved.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Okay. How long has being a parent changed your long-term goals and your vision for your business? And this question is from Natasha.
How has being a parent changed my long-term goals and vision
Yes.
for myself and for the business? I mean, for
Well,
myself. Oh, just for the business?
yeah. Well, you can let us
I'm
know
I'm
for
just gonna.
yourself as well.
Well, for
Just
myself,
gonna
obviously,
answer
my
it.
everything changes, right? For myself, my long term visions completely changed, right? When I was 20 and single versus married with two kids and one due like any second right now. Um, Obviously, my vision changes. How does my vision change for my business? I try not to let it. Um, and if it does, it's because I'm using my personal vision to dictate how I build the business. My business doesn't dictate my personal life. I'm separate from my business. My business is not my baby, right? I wouldn't sell my kid. I'd sell my business. Um, it so it's completely different. So how has being a parent changed? Well, it changed my vision for my business in the sense of, hey, I want to be around my kids a lot more. I want to make sure
Mhm.
that I spend time in the moments with them, that I could watch them grow up, that I could be at as many games and events as possible, that I could take vacations with my family, that I could have those memories, that I could, just capitalize on those moments. So what that does is it gets me to come back into the business and be like, cool, how are we going to build a business around that?
Mhm.
I don't come in and be like, how do I build my life around my business? That's the problem with entrepreneurs right now. They think they need to sacrifice the things they have to enjoy them later. No, you just build the business you want. Oh, but that means you're taking time off and you can't grow from, 5 million to 8 million. Okay. And first of all, you're wrong because you could hire a team and you could pull yourself out as much as possible. Oh, but then our margins aren't the same. Okay. And what's the priority? What's the goal here? Oh, I just want to be at my kids' soccer games and I want to be able to go to all those things. Okay, cool. So you built a business that's giving you that. Oh, but now I want money. Well, so like the problem is you're so wishy-washy with what you really want and you're tying everything up. I am very clear, and this is what I do with our clients too, is I help them build the businesses around the life that they want. That's why we start businesses. That's why entrepreneurs exist. We solve problems in the marketplace, but ultimately we're here to build businesses that give us the life that we want and hopefully make an impact along the way. But the impact starts with me making it like I love helping clients. I love making an impact for them. But if my legacy goes down as my clients love me and everyone who works with me got results and I built businesses and I helped people build their lives, but my life was shitty and broken and I wasn't with my family and I didn't get to watch my family grow up and I didn't have all that and the legacy was that I I'm a failure. That's a failure in my eyes. But if the legacy was, hey, I built a good business, you know, I help people, but man, was he a present dad? Was he a was he a great husband? Was he a great friend? Was he, like, yeah, do I fail at those things at times? 100%. It's hard. It's hard, but that's the legacy I'm going for. I
Yeah.
care way more that my kids show up to my funeral and they talk about me and they're happy about me than I do any client ever coming to my funeral. So, um, that's how it shaped my long-term vision. Doesn't really change much, in terms of what I want to build, but how I structure things will be around the life that I want.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. This question is from Erica. When starting out using Facebook ads, how do you determine what your budget should be?
Tricky question, because there's no right or wrong way. I think it depends on what your goals are. You could get, and it depends what type of business you have. If you're a local business and you can only service people within a 5-mile radius of you, then you could get by with $5 a day, $10 a day. Like it doesn't really matter. If you're an e-com store trying to, you know, blast all of North America, Europe, and whatever, you'll need tens of thousands of dollars probably to make it impact. If you're going for conversions, if you're going for people just to watch your videos, you could probably get by with less. So I think it really depends on the objective you're going for. So I can't really answer that question. I could tell you that if you're running conversion campaigns, right? So that's if you're e-commerce and you want people to buy something, if you're running lead gen, you want leads, what Facebook recommends is 50 conversions per ad set per week.
Wow.
So, um, most people don't hit that because it requires big budget. But let's say you need 50 conversions per ad set per week and your cost per conversion is $1. So 1 times 50 divided by 7 days becomes your daily budget for that one ad set. Now, if you have 10 of those, multiply that by 10. So that's the Facebook response for a conversion campaign. Do we operate to that 100%? No. Right? Not, you could have success without hitting the 50 conversions, but that's the recommended. So if I'm going to give an official answer, I'm going to give them one that they recommend, that Meta recommends, that Facebook recommends. And then my official answer is it depends on what you're trying to do, what your objective is.
Okay. All right. This question is from Brandon. What strategies or methods do you use to attract and keep clients or customers?
Keep clients comes down to results. That's the truth. Being nice and being really, really, and offering really good customer service will only last so long. At the end of the day, if you're not getting them results and you're super nice, it's going to be harder for them to break up with you, but eventually they'll break up with you.
Yeah.
So results matter from a retention side of things. Now, don't get me wrong. I think you could get results, but if your customer service is bad, you'll lose them. So it's just really like you and I, we have internal conversation all the time on how do we create that experience a lot better? How do we give them the amazing experience, and not the amazing experience to cover up a lack of results, but on top of the results?
Yeah.
How do they get results and an amazing experience with us? How do we make this no brainer for them to stay with us? Sometimes that's a pricing issue. Sometimes that's a service issue. Sometimes that's there's a lot of factors that go into that. But ultimately retention comes down to you having a really good product and a really good service. If you have that, you should be getting, and then asking them to buy more and staying with you longer. So how many times are you asking them to do business with you? What other products or services can you add on top of that? That's how you increase retention. Now, attraction comes down to value, because they don't know whether you're going to get results or not. So what value can you bring, and how can you demonstrate that value to the marketplace so that they feel like they could trust you? At the end of the day, it requires a leap of faith. That's the truth. There are no guarantees in anything that we do. In fact, if you're going to make guarantees online, you're probably going to have trouble with the FTC because they're really cracking down on those guarantees. So no one can guarantee you anything. I don't run your business for you. I could guarantee you that we're very good at what we do.
Yeah.
But it's going to require a leap of faith that you're very good at what you do. And we'll ask the right questions for that. And you could be very confident you're very good at what you do, but it's going to require a leap of faith that we could actually deliver those results, which you'll ask the right questions to see if we can.
Right.
So it's a partnership for us. So that comes down to attraction, or attracting new customers. Is just how do you stay in their minds, and how do you consistently demonstrate value where, over time they feel like, and this could be, we've had clients in the past that for like 2 years been following up with them before they decided to do business with us.
Mhm.
And they end up being, some of the best clients. So how can you consistently add value in the marketplace to them?
Okay. Okay. Do you have any personal stories or insight about times when you felt most challenged or conflicted as a parent and an entrepreneur? And that's from Brenda.
Every day.
Yeah.
If you're doing it right, if you're playing the game right, you're conflicted every day. Um, Now, I don't sit long in that conflicted state as much as I used to.
Mhm.
Uh, I think I'm maturing from a business side and from a mindset side. Normally, the problem is you're conflicted and then you stay conflicted for like a week and you don't do anything. So how fast can you get out of that conflicted state? I think I'm getting better at that. So if I'm conflicted, I'll I'll try to catch myself and then ask myself, why am I conflicted?
Mhm.
So, there are moments all the time where it's like, cool, you know, as as a parent, let's say I'll combine work and parenting together. I like being with my kids, but sometimes I have to travel, which means I miss certain things with my kids, which means I may miss an event. I may miss something. I may miss, I try to schedule around, but sometimes this is what it is and I have to make a decision. So if I'm conflicted, I'll ask myself, why am I conflicted about this? There's a clear answer. Which one do I want? What's the non-negotiable here? Because you have choices with everything you do in life. So
Right.
I'll ask myself, cool. Um, Ryan has a basketball game, but I need to be at that client. What's more important to me? And it's not necessarily what's more important, but
Right.
you know, Ryan's game, is it just a regular game? Is it a playoff game? Is it, something
Yeah.
important? How much of it is really a game versus the first one, whatever, can it get by without me? If the answer is no, then I'll be at that game.
Mhm.
But like I said, everything comes down to like choices and balance and what you're willing to sacrifice to get the things you want. Everything in life has a price. So remember, that sounds like an easy choice, be a parent and go. But what are you sacrificing on the other side? And what's the long term play?
Mhm.
Right? Am I missing, a half an hour thing where, he's not going to play for 15 of those 30 minutes and I'm going to lose out on $100,000 client that could potentially, secure more, for my family so I could be at more games when it does. Like you just got to ask yourself the question, why are you conflicted? If you
Right.
ask yourself questions like that and you just like think it through, sometimes you'll just be like, well, I'm really not.
Mhm.
And I've done this with our own clients where they're like, well, you know, I don't know. I'm so conflicted about this. I'm like, well, why are you conflicted? And they're like, well, what do you want to do? I want to do this. Okay, so why don't you just do that?
Mhm. Yeah. Sometimes it's simple.
Well, we don't ask ourselves questions. That's the
Mhm.
truth, right?
Yeah.
We like to just sit in the state of oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Mhm.
Well, I tell this story a lot. One of my coaches, especially around mindset, I was at his house and we were talking and I kept saying, I don't know. And he's like, dude, stop saying that. I said, well, I don't know. And he goes, it's a garbage answer. And if you play back this call or you play back this conversation, you're going to hate yourself about how just like stupid you sound by saying, I don't know all the time. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. So I said, well, what, but I don't know. He goes, well, have you ever thought about it? And I said, no. And he said, well, do you think it's worth thinking about? And it's just such a simple thing. But the truth is, we're saying, I don't know, but we just never thought about it. I'm
Right.
conflicted. Well, have you thought about, have you truly thought about
Why?
what you want?
Mhm.
No. Well, then you wouldn't be so conflicted if you actually
Yeah.
thought about it. So have you thought about it? No. Is it worth thinking about? Yes. Cool. Then maybe you should just sit and think with it for a second. And if it's not worth thinking about, then maybe you just move on.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Okay. Perfect. All right. Okay, so it looks like it's time for my question of the week. All right. So, what originally inspired you to become an entrepreneur? Your original inspiration.
So really good question. I don't think there was like one thing that did it. I think it was a bunch of things that led up to it. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was going to go to law school and I thought I was going to be
Okay.
a lawyer. Um, Fun fact, I actually got into law school twice. Um, I thought I was going to be a lawyer, but I hated school. I hated school. And then, we have these wants in our lives that we don't know where they come from. So, they're called mimetic desires. We want things, but we're really trying to copy someone else's wants. Sometimes those are our parents, right? Your parent wants you to be a doctor or a lawyer or
Yeah.
things like that. So you do your best to try to make them happy, and you think that they become your wants.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, so I was bummed when I didn't go to law school, but like bummed because I thought I was disappointing my parents
Mm-hmm.
through it. Um, but I really didn't want that, and I had no clue what I wanted. And then my brother-in-law, he started his own business, a wildly successful business. Like him and his brother started together, brilliant entrepreneurs, did incredibly well. But their father was an entrepreneur, so it was like inbred. They had it, and I remember sitting down with my brother-in-law, his brother, and their father all together, and like, man, you don't want to go work for somebody. Go start your own business. And they were trying to tell me to look at like China, look for things you could import here, like a product that you could sell. The baby market's really good. So I started like looking at these sites. This is before AliExpress and Alibaba and drop shipping. It was like, they were like pretty smart to like think about drop shipping that way. Like think about product. There was a special site and they used to have like these like 2 or 3 trade shows a year that you could go to.
Mm-hmm.
But I went on the site, I started looking for baby products. Like what can I bring in? What can I build a brand off of? And then sell to Toys R Us or Babies R Us or things like that. Um, so I started looking at that. There was nothing really that I was like, so like, this is amazing. I also was,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, 20 something. What did I know about the baby market? Right. And now it would have been a little bit different as a parent.
Yeah.
Um, but that kind of set me down the path of like, you can do that. And then I went to go take a job and I just didn't like it. I have problems with authority. So I didn't like being told what to do, when to do, where to show up, how to show up, what to write in an email, what not to write in an email. That just, I didn't like any of that. Um, and so I went on to start a clothing business and a t-shirt company at that time. So I have no clue. Entrepreneurship was never anything on my mind. I thought I was just going to go have a job, work for someone, make really good money, rise up the ranks, or be like one of those lawyers on TV. Until I realized that no one's really like those lawyers on TV. Like, I thought I'd be really, really good, like to not have to work but show up to court and like just deliver those closing arguments and be like, yeah, I'm the closer. Um, and then I realized like you have to sacrifice like 90% of your life in order to do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, um, I've always been ambitious from a money side of things. I've always wanted to make a lot of money. Uh, Whether that's good or bad, I'll let you, the listener, decide that. But that's always kind of what I wanted. Didn't really know why, didn't really know how. But slowly I think I learned the entrepreneur game. And
Yeah.
I had to learn the game of business. It's not something that, I came easy and I was like, oh man, this is what I'm a born entrepreneur right out of the bat. Like I went to go work jobs and hated it and started one business, learned a lot of lessons from there, learned what I liked, what I didn't like, went to go start another business. Now 3 businesses later, we're doing okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I never knew. I just assumed, I guess, that you set out immediately, entrepreneur, business owner,
That didn't
but you
really
kind of,
exist. That didn't really exist back then. Like when I started, and like I'm not 80 years old, but like when I started, that wasn't the thing. Like people went to go get jobs. Like
Mhm.
entrepreneurship wasn't this cool thing.
Yeah.
There was no Instagram. There was no influencer that you're going to follow. The influencers were athletes and models from magazines like that. Those were the influencers. So it wasn't like you were following a bunch of entrepreneurs and coaches being like, "Hey, do you want help making 50K a month?" and blah 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 blah. You had some of those, but it was like infomercials, and it was like Tony Robbins
Yeah.
and and whatnot. You weren't inundated with so many people showing you how easy it is to start a business. Well, truth is, it is easy to just start a business. You go incorporate a name, and now you have a business. But yeah, you weren't surrounded by a bunch of gurus as you are
Mhm.
now. So I didn't even know what my options were. And to be honest with you, if my brother-in-law wasn't an entrepreneur, then I don't know. Like I don't know if I'd start the clothes. There's so many little things. One thing that I think I've been really good at is a a very good dot connector.
Mhm.
And I could see things that a lot of my clients can't see and connect those dots, like the common sense things.
Mhm.
Like to me, they're common sense. To me, they're simplistic. And it took me a while to realize that I could actually charge for this because it's so simple. But that like I'd have to get over that it's simple to
Mhm.
me, but what they didn't see it at all.
Right.
Um, so speaking of the connecting the dots, that's what my story is really made up with. No monumental big decision that changed everything. This was the decision that changed the entire game for me. Um, no, there were small decisions. Like even walking away from the clothing company to start the agency. I don't know if in 15 years from now what my record's going to be and how that holds up. Maybe it's walking away from the agency to start the real estate company. That like you like I don't know. They're just ripple effects.
Right.
Everything we do is a rock thrown into the water with a skip, and watching those ripples spread is wide, and hopefully be a good person and provide value and help people along the way. And that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
All righty. Good call. Good Monday morning. Let's get things
Yeah.
going. Look, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you want to work with us, head on over to jportnoy.com. Many ways that you can work with us, from our agency to the coaching program to one-on-one consult. And this is like a bunch of things, almost finished the book.
Woo!
So
Coming
that's
along.
coming along. We're about like 4 weeks away.
Okay.
4 weeks away. So yep, put comments in below. See you later. Thanks, Megan.
Right. Bye.